Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be using this refill adapter that's on my 500-gallon propane tank to refill my RV portable propane tank. It's like a big barbecue tank essentially, because this does go slower than what you would get if you were at like a gas station refilling at their place. So this adapter kit is from Nashfuel. I bought this on my own. This is not a sponsored video, but this makes life a lot easier not having to take this all the way down to the gas station and get it refilled. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Let's go ahead and get this tank filled up. So real quick, just on the parts, this all does come basically in individual pieces. Basically, there's this valve here on the right side of my propane tank. There's another valve over there. We're not using that one. I forget what this one's called, but it's the smaller of the two. And I made sure to use the yellow paste that's meant for propane for sealing stuff. So I put all these pieces together, and as I open this valve here, it allows liquid propane to come from the bottom of the tank. That's what's connected to this valve here is a pipe that goes all the way to the bottom of the tank and allows it to fill this hose, which then goes to this adapter right here. I've got a ball valve right here to open everything up. And then this right here is a bleeder valve. We won't really need to use this. There's also a bleeder valve on the tank that I'm going to show you. And then of course this right here to attach to the tank itself. I did notice I've used this 2 or 3 times. I've maybe had it 2 months at the very most, and when I store it, I keep this whole thing under this so it's out of the sun, so it's not getting hit by UV. And this O-ring is completely, has a lot of cracks in it right up here, so I'll likely have to swap that out. Something to keep in mind, you may want to have some extra O-rings around for it. Hopefully we get through today without any problems. So before I turn anything on, I'm going to go ahead and get this threaded onto the propane tank. It doesn't have to be suspended like this. The first time I did this, I didn't think it was working because at the gas station it takes like 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds to get a 5-gallon tank filled up. I believe these are 7, maybe 8-gallon tanks. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I put the scale on here just so that way it's filling. I can see that it's getting heavier, so that way I know that it's working. Now, for whatever reason, this black piece is completely loose from the piece that needs to be threaded. That's a kind of a pain in the butt. And we want to do a reverse thread. This is lefty tighty, righty loosey. That's how it is with propane tanks. So you can see that threading in there. You can see this kind of comes off. So if this were to fall off or break off, I could just use a wrench. And I may just take it off just to use a wrench. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up this valve here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the ball valve. And then this flathead right here needs to get opened up till it's hissing. And I'm basically going to fill this until I see a cloud. This will be liquid propane coming out of here. So now I turn on the main valve. And now opening this valve. So now I could hear the liquid is now transferring. You obviously are going to smell a lot of propane, and you absolutely do not want anything flammable or sparks or cigarettes or anything like that while this is going, because it is the vapor of propane that's really flammable. One of the other ways you can tell how full it is liquid propane is very cold. So you can just put your hand right on the side, and I can feel that the cold is just above this seam here in the middle. See that? But right here, it's already cold, and I can feel it slowly going up. It's been about 12 minutes since I started, so this definitely takes quite a long time. All I got to do is wait to see the liquid propane coming out from over here, and I'm going to go ahead and take it off this because it does get pretty heavy. Okay, well, it's taken forever, but now you can see that's the liquid propane coming out. So what I'm going to do is I want to shut this off. Careful, this stuff is extremely cold. And this off. Yeah, that was, normally you don't let that much come out, obviously. I'm going to close this off. So now everything is shut off between here and here. So I can use this bleeder valve here if I want and just get rid of everything in this space. Notice how much is coming out for just a tiny bit of space. I'll go ahead and close this, righty-tighty. So now there's nothing coming up from here. There's just what's in the hoses left. So now I can take this off. So now this is full, very heavy. And now I'm just going to get rid of everything that is in the hose here just by opening the ball valve. You see there's still liquid propane there because you can see the kind of the gases of the white cloud there. And you really don't want to get this on you. It is very, very, very cold. So probably not a good idea to do this in flip-flop. There we go. And you can see the tip of that froze right up. Anyway, at this point, you can definitely keep it closed or open. I usually keep it closed just as an extra safety. And then I store it under here. That way it's staying out of the weather. But like I said earlier about that O-ring, keep an eye on that. Okay, that's it, guys. It's very simple. Now that took forever. It took like 45 minutes to fill this up. So a very, very slow fill rate, but I can do this at home. Originally, before I had a Delta Pro system, which is a 240 volt solar generator backup system, I have a whole video on that. I couldn't run my furnace during the winter if there was a power outage. Now I can, but the whole reason of getting this was so that way I could refill these propane tanks, so that way I could run little Mr. Buddy heaters or bigger propane heaters to keep us warm and keep our pipes from freezing and stuff like that. So very simple system, saves the hassle of driving to the gas station, but at the same time it does take a long time. If you do any of this, it's all at your own risk, but it definitely does work. The other nice thing is I have this exact same thing up at my cabin, and since my cabin is a long ways away from a gas station or a propane refill station, I can refill my barbecue propane tanks there on site without having to take 2 trips just to refill tanks and stuff like that. So very handy. I definitely like it, definitely recommend it. I'll put the links down below for the one that I got. I would recommend getting a 10-foot hose, not a 6-foot hose. If you have extra hose, it's just laying on the ground. Like I had a bunch of stuff here earlier, and it was just a pain working around that, but I got that moved while this was filming. That would be the only change I would make. Is 6 foot's fine, but if you can go longer, even better. Now, if you found this helpful, please consider becoming a Patreon member. Just go to patreon.com/MinutemanPrep. I truly appreciate everyone who's a supporter of the channel. Whether you're a Patreon member, you guys are top shelf. Really appreciate you. As well as to all my subscribers and viewers. You guys are amazing. I get a lot of good feedback from you guys, so I appreciate that. Have a way to heat. This is another way to be able to refill our RV, which is our backup, bug out vehicle if we need to. And so we know that we can keep it warm in there if all else fails. Thank you so much. Be prepared. See you guys in the next video.